Sorry. Okay, so the built-in function, we discussed about the built-in function. These are the built-in functions. These are the types of functions. Built-in functions like year, month, lower, upper. These are the built-in functions already available. If you take any programming language, including the tools, user-defined function based on our need, right? So like business logic, we want to use a specific business logic, like computing net salary. We want to subtract the deduction from earnings. This formula is very common. For all the employees, we need to use the same formula. So in that case, what you do is we create a function, right? A user-defined function. It is also called as a custom function. Once you create a function, you can use it. You can reuse it as many times as you want it. Hence, the custom function provides us the reusability and modularity. So, what do you mean by modularity? You don't have to, use this formula for each and every employee. Simply call the function. That's all. You apply the function. Okay, this function formula will be applied automatically for each and every employee. You don't have to redundantly use this function for each and every employee to compute the net salary. Hence, it provides modularity. Okay, now in Power BI Power Query, we will see how we can create the custom function. Okay, it is M functions, right? In the Power Query, it creates automatically generates the M language. As per the M language, we have seen the functions, some functions like rename, replace value. For example, I want to replace the value. All we do is just select the column, right click on it. There you will find the replace value option. In the context menu, we will find it. Okay. So that replace value function will get generated automatically. That's it. That function will be called behind the scene. I just go to the Power BI desktop. Yeah, it got launched. Meanwhile, let me open the transform data, Power Query Editor. We will go to the Power Query Editor because that is where we can create the custom function. Okay, we are in Power Query Editor. Now let me do one thing. We'll load another file. Even being inside the Power Query Editor, you can load the data file. For example, I just go and say emp1, emp1, no, it's not a, I'm going to load another file called emp1 CSV. Okay. On the left side, if you see here on the left side, just beneath this query here, I'm going to create, right click on it, and then here you will find new query. Okay, select the new query. In this, you will find new blank query. I'll just show you one more time. So just beneath the query in the empty space, you keep the cursor and then right click on it, new query, and then you will find the blank query here. Click on it. Here, what I do is I'll create a simple function, custom function. With this simple function, you will be able to understand the syntax, and also you'll be able to understand what is the purpose of the function, the custom function. Okay, here I'm going to type the equal sign. Followed by that, I'm going to use the open parenthesis and then the first parameter. In this case, the parameter name is A. Okay, you can give whatever the name as number. What is the data type of this parameter. So this is my parameter, right? This is my parameter and this is my data type. Okay. So next what I do is followed by this. So I enclose this parameter into a parenthesis, open parenthesis, closed parenthesis. Followed by this, I'm going to use the rocket symbol. This is your rocket symbol, equal sign and greater than. And then I'm going to say, I say go A star A. What is star? Star is nothing but multiplication. Okay. And I'm going to press enter. Yes, no error. Initially, it was an error because I did not complete the function. I did not type the entire function. Right. So this is my function body. What you are seeing here, the A cross A is your function body. These are the parameters we are passing to this function body. So let's say if you store 2, if you pass 2, okay, to this variable, the parameter A, that one will be passed inside. So 2 into 2. Okay, that is how it works. I'll just, in the interest of beginners, let's say if you type 2 here, if you pass 2, right, what will happen? This 2 will be copied here. So 2 into 2. So it will give 4. Okay. And I'm going to give some name for this function, square me, something like this. Look here, how do I give the name for this function? Here you can give the function. You can go and click on it, rename it, and you give something like square me. So this logic, if you give any value, if you type any value here, look here, it is asking for the value for this A. If this is nothing but the parameter. If you type any value, let's say you type 2 here, the 2 will be copied to this parameter, and then this value will be passed to this function body. So the 2 will be copied here, and he will pass the 2 here. 2 into 2 is 4. So this function is square me. If you call this function, what will happen? If you give any value, it will square it. Got it? I just press this one. And here, if I give 2 here, so this is my parameter 2. And if I click invoke, see, I have created the function. If you have to create a function, you have to specify the parameter name first. And then you need to specify the function body. We are done. We have created the function. There are no errors. Once you press enter, what happens? It is not giving any error. If that gives any error, you need to fix it. There is some syntax issue. Okay, now no error. Now it is asking me to enter the value for this parameter A. So I just type 2. So this 2 will get copied here. So now I need to click on invoke so that this value will be copied to this one. My function will be called. Creating the function is not sufficient. You need to call it. Now we are testing it by calling this one. When you click on invoke, behind the scene, what is happening is, look here, the 2 will got passed to that parameter A. This 2, here I type 2, 2 got copied here, 2 into 2, 4. And if you see the invoked function, click on it, 4. Okay. And you need to enter, for example, if I enter 16 here, if I click on invoke, what will happen? This 16 will get copied here, 16 into 16, 256 will be given. Okay. But I need to click on invoke. I need to, only when I click on it, this one will get copied. We are calling the function. Invoke is nothing but you are invoking the function by passing this value. Okay. Once you click on it, it will create something like invoked function. Look here for this one. So when I invoked this time, I have given 16 as a parameter value. This one get copied and 16 into 16, 256. Previously, what I gave it, you can go and verify it here. 4. So 2, right? You need to check here. 2 into 2, 4. It returned 4. The function returns a value, single value. Remember this also. Okay, function returns a value. The function has to return a value. Next one is the query one. So here I just go and give some meaningful name. This is my function, custom function name. Okay. This function, once I create it, I can use it as many times as I want it. Okay. If I want to square any other value, just type it. So it's like a calculator for me now. Okay. The same. Okay. This we created a function, we tested it by passing the value, it is working fine. The functionality is correct. It is, what is the functionality? What was the functionality? You take the value, whatever you pass is 16 and multiply it by the same value, 16 into 16 to it is very good. You've done the testing by invoking the function and passing the value 16 here in this case. Good. So I just renamed it. So this function I can use it as many times as I wanted. Next example is, look here, we have the employee data set. In this, we have something called salary column and we have LOP. Okay, you just assume that this is my earnings, this is my deductions. So earnings minus deduction will give me net salary. But in the case of Excel, you can, what you do is you keep the cursor on the other cell, new cell, and then what you do is equal sign and sal minus LOP. Right? You select this column minus this column. That will give you the net salary, isn't it? But here you cannot do it that way. Okay. You cannot write the formula for each column. In the formula bar here, you cannot specify the formula for each and every column. Okay. But even in the case of Excel, you need to copy the formula there and you need to, each and every line that formula have to be used. But here what we are doing is we are going to create a new function. In that function, we are using two parameters. One is for salary, the earnings, and other one is for deduction. And then the function body, we are simply subtracting the deduction from earning to get the net salary. That net salary will become a new column. For each and every employee, it has to give me the net salary by invoking that function, right? It will get applied on this columns and then it will give me the net salary. I'll just show you now how we can do it. So again, I need to create a new function in order to compute the net salary. So what I do is I just beneath the queries, I'll keep the cursor over here, right click on it, new query, and then blank query. Here, I just say net sal is equivalent to, sorry, not this one, equal sign. First, you need to start with equal sign. And then here you say the earnings. Earnings as number, comma, deduction. Deductions as number. You can give any name here. This is your parameter, but followed by the parameter, you specify the data type. Then what is this as? That is a keyword. This is a, you have to use that one. Okay. But you cannot give whatever name that you need. This is syntax. Okay. You need to use as followed by this. You need to specify the data type. And then at the end of it, now I define two parameters inside the parenthesis, followed by this, the parenthesis, you need to specify the rocket symbol. Now I need to specify earnings minus deductions. Press enter. No error. Good. So now the question is, so it's not that comfortable typing the body of the function. Supposing the body of the function requires a bigger, it requires complex formula, right? So in that case, what you do is you don't have to write it here. Probably you can expand it and then you can just hold the Alt key and then press enter. It will take you to the next line. For example, you just press enter. It is not coming there. I just pressed it enter. So what you do is you can go to the view. What I'm trying to say here is you can use the function. You can create a function not only here. You can click on the advanced editor. Even here you can create the function. Okay, listen carefully. So what I did, I just created a blank query. Here in the formula bar, I typed the function. I create a function here in the formula bar. Sometimes what will happen, you need to write multiple lines because the business law is a bit complex. Okay. In this case, earnings minus deductions. Okay. The function body, you need to specify it in more than one line. So in that case, this space is not sufficient. It is not that much. So go to the view ribbon and click on advanced editor. The advanced editor, look here, the same thing, earnings, deductions, the rocket arrow, and then earnings minus deduction. There is something called let block and in block. Two blocks are the let block, in block. In the let block, we specify all the parameters. This is the parameter, the variable. We specify the variables. And followed by the variable name, you specify the equal sign. And followed by the equal sign, you specify the parameters, all the things. Okay. And this is my function body. And the in block, it will return this. You see, on the right side of this variable, you'll find the expression here, right? Expression. The output of this one will get assigned to this one. See here, it will compute the net salary, this formula. The net salary will get stored here. The function has to return a value. So in that case, the output of this one, the net salary gets stored here. That will be returned in your in block. It is as simple as that. Okay. So you can write it here also. Okay. So what I'll do is, for the time being, I just say done. And if you think the space is not sufficient, then you click on advanced. Here also you can go and modify. Look here. So this is a big screen. You can write as many lines as you wanted. For the time being, I just say okay, and then I'm going to close it. Now what we will do is earnings. It is asking us to enter the value for these two parameters, earnings and deductions. I just say, let's say you are drawing 100,000 and your deduction is this month you took a lot of leave. So 20,000 got deducted. And invoke. So 100,000 minus 20,000, 80,000. So this one will get copied here. This one will get copied here. And obviously, whatever the values that you copied here, that one will get passed here. Then that one will get passed to this function body. 100,000 minus 20,000, 80,000. When I click on the invoke, what will happen is this value will get copied here, copied to these parameters. And in turn, this value will get passed here. It will give you the net salary. Now, all I need to do is I need to click on invoke. Look at 80,000. And you can see the values here. So in this case, the values get copied to earnings as 100,000, the deduction as 20,000. The body, you cannot see it here. If you want to see the body, you can click on the query one. This is the one. The default name for the function was query one. I just rename it as net sal, calculate net sal. Yes, my function is ready. Okay, I tested it by passing some values to these two parameters. It gives me the correct output. The functionality is correct. It correctly is subtracting it. Very good. The next one is I need to use this function. I tested it. Everything is fine. I need to use the function by invoking it. You can get it. But I need to apply this function on my payroll data. Okay, employee one data. So in that case, I cannot type each and every employee's earnings and deductions. Let's say in TCS, we have close to 6 lakh employees are there. Do you think each and every employee you can type it manually here? It will take a lot of time. So what you do is you create a function, you tested it, the functionality is correct. It gives me the correct result. I'm going to apply this function on this employee table. Click on the employee table here. What I will do is I'm going to select the add column ribbon, and here you have invoke custom function. So I just, so it is asking me the new column name. I just say net salary. So what I say is here, hey, create a new column by the name of net salary. For that, you use this function, calculates net salary for these columns. Here you pick up the columns from sal, and you have two options here. You need to select this one in the drop down, the down arrow. When you click on it, you will find decimal number. But when you select the decimal number, you will type the value manually. I don't want to type the value manually. The values are already available in this column. pick up the column. Okay, column name. You need to select the column name and then click on this one and here LOP. So what we are doing is for this function, we are passing this column. This is according to me, this is my earnings and this is deductions. These two columns are already available in my data set. So this function will go and pick up the values from these two columns and it applies this function for each and every row. And then it returns the result into this column. I'm going to click on OK now. Look here, it has done a fantastic job. So this is my earnings 10034 minus 0. Since there are no LOP, it gives me the net salary as this one. And in this case, if you see here, yes, it is doing correct job. So 120K minus 25,954. Likewise for each and every. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Once you create it, you can apply it to your data set and it gets invoked automatically. Yeah. So it was possible because of the custom column. Okay. You need, sorry, the invoke custom function. Okay. There is another option called invoke custom function. I just show you one more time. Click on this one, give the whatever the name for. In this case, I've given net salary. Okay. Since already that column is available, I'm not leaving space. You need to select the function name, calculate net sal. And here you need to select the column name. Which column you want to pass this as an argument. In this case, salary, and you need to select LOP. That's all. When you hit this button, OK, this function will get applied to this data set. It automatically picks up the values from these columns and then it subtracts. And because in the function body, we've used the earnings minus LOP. Now let us go back to this function. You might be asking this, and there you mentioned SAL, the column is SAL and LOP, but here you are using different name. The parameter name can be anything, but we will give some meaningful name, business name, so that the business users later point in time, if they want to test it out. For example, your payroll stakeholder, your senior manager wants to say, hey, what formula that used it. When he sees this one, he can quickly understand, oh, this is earnings and this is deductions. He's subtracting the deductions from the earnings. Gives a meaningful name, that's all. Now we understood with these two examples, what is custom function, how it is helpful, how we can use it. Okay. I have another data set in the other data set. Okay, what we will do is we have another column is available, the shipment duration. Or else what we'll do is we'll create one more function. Okay. In that case, what I will do is I'll just go to the sales W04 data set. And here I have the sales amount is there. Yes, we wanted to find out the net sales. This is a gross sales. Okay, to get the net sales, the sales minus discount. We have given some discount. And in case of any returns, you need to subtract it. Okay, so later point, they bought it, but they returned it, few items. They bought 10 quantity, but later point in time, they returned, out of the 10 quantity, they returned 3 quantity. So the say gross sales minus the discount, minus the returns, minus the cost, total cost. Let's assume that that is the formula to compute the net sales. So in this case, we don't have the return value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply subtract the discount from the sales. And the other one is the price. This price is already there. Okay. And then the cost price is not there. Okay. Let us do one thing. I'll create another function. I just keep the cursor over here, right click on it, new query, blank query. Here I just say, gross sales as number, comma, the next one is the discount. as number. Okay, this is enough. And here what I do is the gross sales, the same thing, minus discount. Or else what I do is to complicate this one. Here I just say for quantity and then list price. Here what I do is here I just say inside the parenthesis quantity into price will give you the gross sales. You just think that way, okay? Don't worry, we will use the real formula and all. For the time being, we will work with this one. So the quantity into list price will give me the sales for each and every line item. For each and every line item, once you get the sales, you need to subtract the discount to get the net sales. This function will return the net sales. And I'm going to press enter. Okay, there are no errors. For example, the customer bought 10 items and each item cost was 10. And the discount you gave, let's say 5 rupees, or let's say you gave 10 rupees. When you click on invoke, these values will get copied respectively to these parameters in this order. Okay, here in this order only it will get copied. Okay, 10 will get copied here, 10 will get copied here, 10 will get copied here. So 10 into 10 is 100 minus 10, 90. It should return 90. I'm going to click on invoke to check the accuracy of the calculation. Okay, it is accurately calculating this one. The functionality is correct. The first 10 was your quantity, and this is your price, list price, and then this is your discount. Fine, it is doing good job. Next thing, why I just go and click on this function here. I just say calc. I just say calc net sales. This function. Now my function is ready. I'm going to apply this on my existing data set. You just go here and then click on the custom function. Go to the add column. You need to use this function, isn't it? Creating the function is not sufficient. How do I use this function? Click on invoke custom function. Go to the respective data set. First, you need to go to the respective data and then click on the invoke custom function. Here I just say net sales. The function query. What is my function query name? Calculate net sales. Here we need to select that one. Calculate net sale. And the next line, you need to pass the arguments. The column name. Here also I'm going to select the column name. Here I will be selecting the quantity and then the list price. So what I do is using invoke custom function, I'm calling this function. Which function? Calculate net. This would not. This would net salary net sales. Make sure that you are using the correct function. Okay, in the real-time scenario, the function names will be slightly, look similar, but look here I made that mistake. Okay, you need to select the correct function and quantity. That's what I was wondering. Quantity and list price, and then discount column. These three columns. What I say is, hey, create a new column by the name of net sales. For that, you need to use this function. For this function, you need to pick up the value from these three columns from my data set, and then apply this function, and then return the net sales. This function, what it does, quantity and list price, and then it subtract the discount from it. So you will get the net sales. I just hit OK now. Look here, this is your net sales column. Your net sales is ready. Cool. So here you can see the calculate net sales, quantity, list price, and discount. These are the three columns. For your sake of verification, you can use it. But behind the scene, what happened? It uses something called table.add column, the invoke custom function. When I used it, so what happened? It created a new column in addition to the existing columns. And then here, it uses the first thing as, some added custom 7, and then need column name. And for each and every row, you invoke this function. And then you pick up these columns. Okay. So, and then it gives me the net sales here. Good. So with this example, with these 3 examples, you are able to understand how to create a custom function. I'll give you some assignment. I have the customer data set. That customer's date of birth is there. You need to compute the age of each customer. How do you compute the age? You need to know so you need to pick up the current date, subtract the date of birth from the current date. That will give you the age. But we want the age in terms of the years. Okay. This was due to my previous errors. Let us ignore that one, the data related issues. We can ignore that. And how many have fixed this error? Yesterday's error. Those of you missed out my yesterday session, please watch my new playlist and watch it. Okay. Anyhow, let us ignore that previous day's session. Okay, the error and all. Okay. So now I just clicked on it. It is working fine. And anyhow, I just so with this, you are able to understand what is a custom function is all about, and how to create a custom function, and how to invoke a custom function, how to apply the function on the data set. Now you learned it. Okay, I'll give you some assignments later after this session. This weekend you are free. Okay, weekend we are not going to have a session. We'll circle back either on this Monday or Tuesday. That I will let you know in advance. Okay, because I work on an average